When timed properly, a flying submission can be devastating. It takes an opponent by surprise as well as winning the match. And apart from giving submission artists a sense of pride to be able to finish with such a spectacular move, an attempt at a flying submission gets the audience excited. Stay tuned to MMA Wired as we take a look at the top 10 crazy flying submissions in MMA. But before we get started, take a moment to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. Now, let's get started.
Hawkins with all the experience.
That is beautiful. He has it. Oh, he's so close, but he's straightening his legs.
Number 10. Wheeler versus Hawkins. Cody Wheeler is perhaps best known for his 4-fight stint with the now-defunct promotion World Extreme Cage Fighting. After losing to Ian McCall via third-round TKO when he made his WEC debut on the 5th of September 2007, the American mixed martial artist next faced Del Hawkins at WEC 32 on the 13th of February 2008 and left MMA fans with a move to talk about when he won the fight via a beautiful flying armbar submission. Number 9. BENCHOHRA versus FONTAINE. While it may be uncommon to see a successful flying armbar in MMA, French mixed martial artist Olivier Fontaine managed to pull it off at the Lion Fighting Championship in France. When Fontaine's kick was caught by his opponent, Sofiane BENCHOHRA, most people were expecting a foot sweep or a takedown attempt. However, Fontaine turned things around when he flipped and transitioned into a flying armbar, forcing his opponent to tap. Number 8. Namajunas versus Catron. Namajunas was a 1-0 professional coming into the fight with Catron, with her first win coming back at Invicta FC 4, where she defeated Emily Kagan via submission in the third round. Catron, on the other hand, walked into the fight with a 2-1 record. However, the Native American was coming off a submission loss to Jordan Nicole Gaza at XFL 11. It was a fight that did not last long at all. In fact, Namajunas must have spent more time celebrating in the cage than actually throwing punches. The fight started with her landing a left hook to the face of Catron, and both fighters would go on to exchange some small shots until Namajunas jumped up and landed a spectacular flying armbar. The fight ended in just 12 seconds as Catron tapped immediately as the armbar was sunk in. Number 7. Valentino versus RENA. On December 31st, 2015, at the Rizin Fighting Federation 2 opener at Saitama Super Arena in Japan, Japanese shootboxing star Rina Kubota made her MMA debut against Yelena Valentino, who was also making her MMA debut. Kubota, who is well known in Japan and one of the country's best female shootboxers, also had Invicta FC Women's Atomweight champion Ayaka Hamasaki in her corner. While the two fighters engaged in an uneventful first round, the popular Rina Kubota drew big cheers from the crowd after her gorgeous flying armbar submission over Valentino in the second round.
It might be tighter. There's the tap. Brian T. City Ortega is still undefeated.
Number 6. SWANSON versus ORTEGA. Brian Ortega is a slick fighter that has made a career out of choking opponents out. However, before his fight against Cub Swanson on the 10th of December 2017, the American professional mixed martial artist had never done it on a stage as big as a UFC main event. Although it was a competitive first round that saw both fighters stick and move, Swanson outstruck Ortega by a wide margin. He landed harder shots in Ortega's head and body. However, Ortega held his own. Late in the first round, Ortega almost won with a standing choke that he took his opponent to the ground. However, Swanson survived. But he wasn't so lucky in the second as Ortega clinched up, landed a knee, and then quickly snatched up a guillotine. He jumped up on Swanson, who tried all he could to shake him off. Ortega also adjusted his grip impressively when he began to slip and pushed off the cage with a foot to reestablish his momentum. Cub Swanson had no option and tapped out soon thereafter.
Going to transition all the way around to that far arm. Trying to pull it out. There's the
There's the Kimura down to an armbar.
There's the
and
tap.
the tap.
Number 5. MAGALHAES vs. Cleveland. In the PFL 9's final light heavyweight quarterfinal in 2019, Brazilian mixed martial artist Vinny MAGALHAES made quick work of Rakeem Cleveland by submitting him with a beautiful kimura that was set up from a triangle position. As the fight commenced, Cleveland, or the Boogeyman, as he is popularly called, pushed forward and Vinny happily worked from the clinch. As he held the position, Vinny jumped in the air and locked up the triangle choke position on the fly, dragging the Boogeyman to the floor. Once there, Vinny isolated the left arm as well, locking in the kimura and torquing the limb until Cleveland tapped out.
He goes forward again in the southpaw position, so Chonan right away should kick with the right leg inside out.
Take away the lead.
Oh, look at this! Wow, this is good! Unbelievable!
Number 4. SILVA vs. CHONAN. Before becoming one of the most dominant champions in UFC history, Anderson Silva's rise to success was a bumpy one. At Pride Shockwave 2004, on New Year's Eve, Anderson Silva and Ryo Chonan met inside the Saitama Super Arena, a fight that would later produce one of the most well-known submissions by MMA fans. The fight was a back-and-forth affair, and a lot of fans still debate who was ahead and would have taken the win if it had gone the distance. Neither Silva nor Chonan backed down, and they had the audience on the edge of their seat. However, about 3 minutes into the final round, Ryo leaped into a leg scissor takedown and quickly followed it up with a tight heel hook. Silva had no choice but to tap out immediately.
Masvidal get any leverage, and Masvidal didn't even feel it coming. You see his face there as he just kind of goes unconscious. Amazing.
Number 3. IMADA vs. Masvidal. Back in 2009 at Bellator 5, Toby IMADA caught Jorge Masvidal in a truly unique choke, and the submission today remains one of the greatest stoppages inside a cage. In the lightweight main event bout, Jorge Masvidal repeatedly tagged Toby IMADA. Masvidal was lighting him up in the first and second rounds before IMADA changed the course of the fight with a jaw-dropping moment. In the third round, Masvidal picked up IMADA and held him upside down behind his back. IMADA showed brilliant fight IQ by using his absurd position to execute an unpredictable submission. He wrapped his legs around Masvidal's neck in a triangle, which paved the way for an inverse triangle choke submission. The move rendered Jorge Masvidal unconscious on the ground. IMADA's spectacular move won him Submission of the Year at the World MMA Awards in 2009, as well as a shot at Eddie Alvarez, the then Bellator champion. However, he lost the bout and fell off the radar. Masvidal, on the other hand, refused to be the guy that lost to IMADA in the craziest submission as he persevered to complete a remarkable career turnaround.
Extended layoff in advance of this one, but still keeping a more active schedule than normal.
Oh, that's
RYANHALL submits B.J. Penn.
Number 2. RYANHALL vs. B.J. Penn. After UFC 232, RYANHALL faced former UFC welterweight and lightweight champion B.J. Penn in Inglewood, California, in a fight that lasted for just 2 minutes and 46 seconds. RYANHALL caught Penn in a beautiful heel hook out of nowhere that many consider as the best submission of 2018. Number 1. Johnson vs. Borg. At UFC 216 in Las Vegas' T-Mobile Arena in 2017, Demetrius Johnson broke the UFC's long-held record for consecutive title defenses, and he did it in impressive fashion. Johnson dominated the entire fight as most fans expected. As the 5th round approached, it looked as if Johnson was heading to a unanimous decision. However, he had other plans. Throwing Borg backward, Demetrius Johnson caught his wrist mid-air and grabbed hold of an armbar to end the fight. And there you have it, our top 10 crazy flying submissions in MMA. Which one surprised you the most? Comment below. Also, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel if you've yet to do so. See you in the next video.